Joe DeSena here from Spartans. I am at Air Force Special Operations Command, where 2,000 of the most elite personnel operate.
These are our radios, these are our push-to-talks.
Now, when you think of Air Force, you typically think about equipment like this or a fighter jet. But the reality is, there is a hand-picked group of elite folks that no one's ever heard of. And so I am going to spend the next 2 days getting my ass kicked to find out what they're all about. I suspect the Pareto principle does not apply here. What that principle means is that typically 20% of the people do 80% of the work. I have a feeling 100% of the people do 100% of the work down here. Let's go find out. Well, I am here. I am at Special Tactics Training Squadron, basically Air Force Special Operations. And let's face it, Spartan was the original military. And modern day military all around the world draws its essence from what Spartans created. I'm gonna be 50 this year, and I wanna know if when I was 20, 30 years ago, could I have come here and passed the test? Let's find out. Colonel Tudor, excited to be here, sir.
Hey, quit smiling. Here's your kit. Go report to the chief. Get ready to get it on.
Got it.
Follow me.
We are recruiting for the Air Force's most elite communities. We're looking for the right humans to go do the most challenging jobs in the Air Force. When we say air power, it's not just bombs, it's the ability to support anyone at any time in any place in the most unique and creative ways possible, and ultimately to save lives.
We're basically solutioneers. We solve problems across the full spectrum of conflict and crisis. Whether it's access, and being access, we can go out and do surveys, we can do reconnaissance, gathering intelligence, and those type of things, to a strike package where we're actually dropping bombs, doing direct action on targets. We're about 2,000 people strong. About a third of that is actually our combat mission support.
2,000 men and women strong. How many apply to become a member of that team?
It will vary. So like on the officer side, we will usually have about 60 to 70 that we actually bring in for selection. And in front of that, you probably have about 150 to 200 that will apply.
Like how many months before I get here?
Was it about a year and a half now?
Year and a half. So they're in their 5th week of a 5-week program. They're getting ready to graduate and go to dive school. After that, they'll go to military free fall where they do all the high altitude stuff. And then they'll continue to go through about a year, a little over a year training here where we kind of crawl, walk, run. Well, about the last 6 months here, they're running, sprinting. Because the next thing they do is they go to their squadron and they deploy. So there's guys that will go to their squadron and within 60 days they'll deploy depending on what cycle they're in. So we try to get them as close to that as we can get them.
So do we think it's safe, since I haven't done that year and a half, that you're just throwing me in the water?
I think it is absolutely safe because you've got the right instructors with you and all the teammates out there, because it's a team. We'll look out for you as well.
All right, let's do it. Chief Gilman, Spartan helmet there, what's the story there?
Spartans for us are the guys that go through these doors out to the Argyle Aquatic Center, and they hit it day in and day out as hard as they can, because they want to become that Spartan warrior for America. So these are our Spartans.
This is awesome.
This next step, take. High side! High side! One, two, three.
So you're starting your initiation from here, just like a yoga breathing, okay, if you've ever done anything like that. So you're gonna unlock your gut, then your chest, and that's when you go.
Straight like a pencil dive.
How's your heart rate? Racing. Okay, let's get this next one out. How's your heart rate? Racing. Okay.
All right, sir, that's our pool session for today. Hey, great job. You did really well for just getting that baptism by fire there. 50 years old.
The students have been on their own unique training pipeline path, and once they awarded their beret, they come see us and they get their specialized training.
Our instructors are teaching you from their experience what it's like to be in a deployed combat environment.
All right, hit and play.
Everything from your basic survival, escape, and resistance training to being qualified to jump out of an airplane, both static line and free fall.
They're going to get their multi-unit tactics training, shooting, CQB or close quarter combat training,
as well as the ability to be the air expert in ground situations. So we like to say that we solve ground problems with air-centric solutions.
So it's a serious machine.
Unbelievable.
Different
It's awesome
missions.
looking. It looks like a Batmobile.
Yeah, it really is. They're pretty impressive. And we've got other machines, but this is kind of what the guys are doing today. So it's not like if you slid your vehicle, the tires would come off the rim. These have bead locks, so if you don't do a correct procedure, you'd have a high rollover because the tires are super aggressive.
Sure.
So I'm Hunter Truchet. I'm the Human Performance Program Manager for the 24th Special Operations Wing.
I'm Lindsay Pfau. I'm the 720th Special Tactics Group Performance Dietitian. An MRE is a meal ready to eat. It's around 1,000 to 1,300 calories per meal, and it's nutritionally complete with 100% of your vitamins and minerals and a balanced ratio of carbs, fats, and proteins. If you eat 3 of them a day, it's a little over 3,000 calories, which is okay for active duty military.
I like it.
It's something that I hope the average person never has to eat, but there's no other product that could compare.
Food was excellent. Instructors were fantastic. Holding my breath was a disaster.
Adjust that as need be with where else is coming.
In my opinion, to be a part of special tactics, it requires a certain individual that wants to put themselves and is okay with putting themselves in uncomfortable positions in order for the betterment of their team and their country.
We're looking for the right humans to go do the most challenging jobs in the Air Force.
We don't only recruit athletes, we recruit people who want to be in the career field. There's nothing special about anyone physically that steps in here. It's the mindset, and the mindset is willing to work, willing to understand, willing to adjust. If you can do all those things, you have a good chance of being successful.
We have to find people who are capable of going beyond themselves and working with a team and working for the greater good, whether it's in a humanitarian mission or some type of strike mission or some type of direct action mission. The attitude that Spartan racers show in their ability to both have the fortitude to continue under very oppressive situations, and then their ability to think beyond themselves and to help their team. Those are things that are common across very few things in our world anymore. And so those things are shared with the community that we represent and that we're recruiting for. Those are the things that we're looking for.
I did one Spartan race. It was the 13-miler. The best thing about being in a Spartan race was being with people that have the same mindset of you outside of the military. So people that enjoyed pushing themselves to their limits and finding what those limits are. I've never really been in an environment like that outside of special tactics.
And so that's one of the things that we want people to understand. If you have the drive to do it, we will help you develop that drive. We will help you become a better teammate and a better person and eventually an Air Force Special Operator. That's our goal.
I am exhausted, and I'm halfway through this thing, and I have to say it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Hopefully I'll have better results tomorrow. I know I was killed at least 7 or 8 times today. I drowned 7 or 8 times. I basically failed every test I took today. The pool just wiped me out. The mental stress in that room of trying to deal with 100 things going on at once. And then that backpack, it had to be over 100 pounds. And then all the gear and the equipment, and I had never felt how hard this was. And this goes on for over a year. I've been here 1 day. You know, you just don't think of this when you think Air Force. When you think Air Force, I'm visualizing fighter jets landing in all kinds of tight locations, right? And just the awesomeness of a jet flying over. I don't think ground operations, special operations. So to see the breadth of their skills and the breadth of their knowledge is awesome. The final thought is I get to sleep in a bed, and they are all sleeping with red ants and pine needles. Time to make the donuts. 4:50 a.m. See what happens.
We look at the Human Performance Program as mission support or mission enablers. Just like our radio crew, our vehicles, everyone in the squadron plays a role. Human Performance plays that role too. We really focus on the physical development and sustainment of the operator. For Special Tactics, we're a free weight-based program. Our implements are endless. You'll see ropes, rowers, racks, dumbbells, kettlebells. You controlling the weight and motion is what we're looking for. It's the sum of our staff doing that work that helps make those guys successful in executing the mission and what they're required to do.
We're teaching them life skills, teaching them how to eat well, train well, take care of their bodies, and preparing them for the challenges of combat.
So what did you think about the initial immersion? No, it was hard. It was hard, but the thing that really I come away with is the drive. You know, the last 48 hours, they've just been fired up the whole time, and I don't see that in industry. I've been in business for 40-something years. You typically have like an 80-20 rule. 20% of the people are fired up. Here it's like a 100% rule. You guys have the real deal because they gave me a backpack yesterday on top of like 45 pieces of equipment. I had the antenna in my eye. I mean, it was impossible to deal with. And then they said, all right, sit down and take off your ruck. And I took it off. I couldn't get it back on. And then when I got it on, I was turtled. I couldn't get up. So So it's one thing to do an endurance race with a fanny pack and some water. It's another thing to have life-saving equipment strapped all over your body.
That's their entry fee into a lifestyle for the rest of their career.
Sure.
And now to maintain all of those standards long term is even harder.
And are there tests post graduation?
So they'll maintain a combat readiness status throughout the rest of their career. So they'll do additional physical fitness tests. They'll do actually tests on their actual applications of what they do, whether they're a rescue specialist, a direct action strike specialist, etc.
Yep.
So they'll have tests that will evaluate them to make sure that they're combat ready, so that they can actually employ into the battle space.
I definitely would not be that person. I wouldn't make it. All right. Well, thanks for having me.
No, it's been a blessing to have you here. We're very grateful that you and the team came out. A lot of people don't know who we are, so try to maintain that quiet professional image. So we're very grateful that you were able to take some time and come down to get to know kind of who we are, what we do, and just get a glimpse into what you think of a Spartan race is, and then what we look as a Spartan lifestyle.
I'm going to send all my enemies here. Torch them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I learned a lot over the last few days. I learned, one, that I would have not passed the test. I think I failed 18 out of 19 tests. But two, I did not know that this special unit, which is not very well known, has been deployed continuously without break since 9/11. I don't think you see many people that are proficient in the air, proficient in the water, proficient on land. This elite group is so versatile and skilled, they could jump in anytime, anywhere with their joint brothers and sisters and bring the big guns, the air power.
It's an amazing mission that these guys do, and just happy to be able to support them in doing that.
Whether or not you believe in war or the military, this is a job that has to be done. And there are people out there that are sacrificing themselves and their families to do a job that has to be done no matter what. So I just want to support those people.
If you're looking for a purpose, this is no nobler cause to put yourself in harm's way to protect America's freedoms and their security. The young folks that come out and do Spartan races by the hundreds of thousands that are looking for purpose and trying to find their true north in life, I think should look here. I think they are well suited to really shine in an environment like this. If you're out and you're living that Spartan life, well, that's the ethos here. As a matter of fact, I see Spartan helmets everywhere I look. I mean, they live and breathe exactly what we love. So, shit, I wish I knew about this unit when I was 18 years old. What more can I say? I'm incredibly impressed with what I saw over the last 2 days, and I might stay. I like it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Major Heath Kearns, and I'm the commander of Air Force Special Operations Recruiting Squadron. So it's our task to find every future warrior that will enter into Air Force Special Operations. Well, obviously, Joe is no stranger to arduous paths. So we wanted to invite him out to experience what our path is like. So we brought him out. We just about drowned him. We ran him. We marched him. Almost worked him into the ground, and then we gave him a mission to accomplish with some of our guys in training.
I just want to say I failed 18 of the 19 obstacles they put me through. So I do not deserve this patch.
You walked alongside us, you sweat alongside us, and you know a little bit of what it takes to become Air Force Special Operations. And in our tribe, nothing is given, everything is earned, and it's usually earned with pain. So you get a little punch with it.
Make matters worse, I gotta get punched. Give him a good one. And it punched so hard it stuck to my shirt.